Learn advanced thinking skills. He's been a speaker at Stratford University as well, where he has delivered lectures on innovation, entrepreneurship. He has even talked about developing businesses as well, coming up with the solutions as well. That is what his core area is. And he'll actually be here sharing his views on the same area with all of you. So without further wastage of time, may I just request Mr. David to please come in here.
Now you have to actually listen because of no more microphone. I have two rules. Do you like rules? We don't believe in following rules. I'll give you my rules anyway. When I spend time with a group like yours, it is required that I give you something of value.
So you're not sure about that, but I told you I've got to give you something of value. So when you look back at the hour and a half we're going to spend together, and you look at the bank statement of your life, this had to be a session that adds value to you, not a session that took away or stole value from you by wasting your time. Is that acceptable? Yes. You want me to waste your time, or you want me to give you something of value?
Give us something.
Yeah, I won't waste your time. I promise to give you something of value. The other is an absolute requirement, so you better say yes, or I'm leaving. So pay attention. When we spend time together, now this is mandatory, you must have fun. Is it acceptable?
Of course.
That's the best you can do? Yeah, I guess so. No, listen to me again. This is a requirement. You must have fun. Is it acceptable?
Yes.
That's a little better. You guys are not sure? You don't want to have fun? No, they don't want to have fun. You don't have to have fun. You just sit there and go, ये सूचना आपका सुरक्षा के लिए ये आपकी कुर्सी की पेटी है ये कुर्सी की पेटी बंद करें this is why do we call it कृपया ध्यान दीजिए क्योंकि जब आपका कॉलीग बोल रही है और आप नहीं सुन रहे हैं आपकी पड़ोसी बोल रहे हैं जब वे लोग कर रहे हैं पड़ोसी बोल रहे हैं एक अनअदर है जब वो बोल रही है और आपकी पड़ोसी बोल रहे हैं एक अनअदर है आप बोल रहे हैं ओ इनके शब्द मत सुनो इनके शब्द जरूरी नहीं है एक अनअदर है see he's doing it right now instead of listening to me they're just talking right okay so what he's really saying oh don't listen to what David has see David's stupid he doesn't know anything don't listen to him but I might ask you and remind you, okay, कृपया ध्यान दीजिए कभी कुछ भी दूसरा बोल रहा है सुनो listen to your colleague honor your colleague आदर दो ध्यान दीजिए okay समझ गया you're gonna forget
No.
you're gonna talk to your neighbor I know you will. So I'm here to introduce you to 5 ways of thinking that nobody has ever asked you to do before. And I can't train you completely in those 5 ways because there's not enough time. We could do a full semester paper on each one of these. But all I'm going to do today is introduce you to them so that you can say, wow, nobody did ever tell me to think this way. And the reason I want you to know about these things is to help you. I told you, my job is to give you something of value. Because when you leave SGT University with whatever degree you are pursuing, you want to get hired for a good job. No? No. I don't want a good job. Yes, you do. And this is what's going to make you a valuable employee. So I'm here to add value to you, to show you how to be more valuable to your company, more valuable to your family, more valuable in your leisure activities. This is meant for your benefit. By the way, just so you know, I bill my time at 1.4 lakhs a day. Right? I give away my time to you. I don't charge. Because I love students. They're delicious. And I'm committed to developing the next generation of leaders of this country. That's you guys. So let's get started and talk about this first one. Computational thinking. What is it? Anybody know? No. I once applied for a job as a copywriter. And the man called me for an interview. Anybody know what a copywriter does? Probably not. Copywriter works in an advertising agency writing the text of the adverts. Writing the dialogue for the radio ad or the TV ad, okay? Writes the ad copy. And the man complained to me, he said, I'm getting all these applications that say, I can copy, I can write, will you hire me as a copywriter? And you may think that you know how to compute. The other version of Kripya Dhyan Dijiye, maybe this will make it clearer for you, is एक ही आवाज. समझते हैं? एक ही आवाज. जब मैं दूसरा आवाज सुनूंगा, मैं रोकूंगा. जब आप खत्म है, जब आपके शब्द हो गए, मैं कंटिन्यू करूंगा. समझ गए? एक ही आवाज. ठीक है. Okay. So you may think, I know how to compute. 2 plus 2 are 4. You guys are paying attention. Good. But that's not computational thinking. So let's talk about what computational thinking is. What is computational thinking? As I said, it is not your ability to compute. It is not even the ability to solve math problems. Right? Now, I won't ask how many of you scored above 50% in 10th class maths. I won't ask you that. I won't ask you to volunteer that you didn't clear 50%. But some of you cleared 50, some of you cleared 60. Great. All of you know how to solve some math problems. That's not the kind of thinking that we're talking about. We're talking about something else, and this is what it is. Let's test your ability to do computational thinking. I'm going to give you a gift. You get to choose which gift you like. You may choose gift A. Please take a moment and read it. Okay, समझ गया? Voucher, matlab? It's a piece of paper that's a promise. You use this, you will receive how much?
2 lakhs.
Somebody's paying attention. Very good. Okay, when do you get the money?
2 weeks.
How much money?
2 lakhs.
Right, okay. Or if you prefer, I will give you B. What is B? Kindly read.
5 lakh. A lucky draw ticket of 5 lakh.
Miss is paying good attention, yes. All right? Okay, when do you get the money? How long is that?
2 weeks.
Ah, somebody's paying attention. Exactly the same. जैसे वो है, समान है. All right? Now, how much is the prize?
5 lakh.
How many other tickets have been issued?
One.
So you have one. How many others are there beside your one?
One more.
समझ गए नहीं? You guys are commerce students. You're supposed to be able to do this math, right? Okay. So think for a minute. Think, but don't take too long. Remember, we're learning to think today, okay? We're learning to think today. Thinking doesn't require your mouth, it requires your brain. Yes? You think with your mouth or you think with your brain? I think with my brain. I hope you do the same. All right. So now you have to decide, would you like gift A or would you like gift B? Which one is more valuable?
A.
Think about it. Think about it. By the way, Miss, normally you answer with your mouth, but we're going to do something different. Has anybody here voted? No? You don't vote?
Yes, sir.
Well, raise your hand if you've ever voted. Good. Some of you have voted. The rest of you don't care about your country. You have to vote. But if you don't vote, you pay a fine. So are you ready to pay me a fine? Then you better vote. Now, since you're all poor students, I'll make the fine only 100 rupees. So the fine is not too bad. But if you choose not to vote, you will pay me a fine and I will collect. So are you ready to vote?
Yes.
Now there's only 2 candidates. One is A, I will take this voucher. And the other candidate is B. I will take the...
Take it.
You, it's a lucky draw ticket. He's looking at the door, he's not looking. He's tired. Right? Ticket. So everyone, how many of you are going to have to vote? All. Everyone has to vote. So let's have the election. This is not groupthink. You know where you're going to vote. If your neighbor votes different, you stay with your vote. Don't change it. Okay? Everybody votes, right? All. Compulsory, mandatory. How many of you will vote A? You want the voucher. All right. Let me see. Now, if you want to take B, vote now. 100 rupees. You didn't vote. She didn't vote. She broke the law. She has to pay 100 rupees. You get it for me later. Most of you voted for A. Tell us why you voted for A. Miss, you have voted in this election for candidate A. Please tell us, if you would, the reason.
Because it assures me 2 lakhs.
Thank you very much. Give her a hand. Okay. Now, somebody who voted B, why did you vote B? Sir.
Because in B, only 2 tickets are being issued. Only 2 tickets are being issued. That means you are getting at least a minimum 2.5 lakhs.
I'll repeat that for those who were not listening. We reward wrong answers. Think about all the right answers you ever put on an exam paper. How much is the value amount?
2 lakhs.
How much is the probability, the percentage of probability that you will get it?
100%.
So what is the value? 2 lakhs into 100% is? 50%. So what is the value of B? 5 lakhs into 50%, which is?
2.5 lakhs.
Now you're doing the math. So what's the value of A?
2 lakhs.
What's the value of B?
2.5.
So why did you guys choose A? Because you were not thinking computationally. You were thinking with your heart. You were thinking with your gut. Thinking with your gut. And most people make most decisions this way, but that's not advanced thinking. Advanced thinking, if you get into the life of medicine, if you evidence-based medicine, if you get into the life of pharmacy, you must treat many problems as math problems to get good results. Because if you're always picking the lower value because your gut says pick it, you're going to make bad decisions. You commerce students, you want to run your business to get more money or less money? You're not sure. Okay, it's more. The right answer is more money. But if you're always making gut choices instead of applying math, you'll make bad decisions. Clear or not clear?
Clear.
Here's a list of questions that should be solved using math. Take a moment and review it. These are problems you will face every day. Purchasing, planning your time, these are all math problems at some level. Yes, your emotions are important. Yes, your thoughts are important. Yes, your preferences are important. It is really also important to understand the mathematical. Which one is bigger, which one is faster, which one pleases more people, and so on and so forth. Finally, any questions or doubts about this? If not, we'll move on. Great, that was the first kind. Next, we have this thing called design thinking. Design thinking. Now, my profession is innovation. And at the heart of what we do with companies is we help them to invent stuff. Sound like fun? Would you like a job helping people to invent stuff? That's what we do. And in order to make sure that our inventions are good and not just wasteful and failures, we apply design thinking. Now, how many of you have ever been asked to invent something? I expect 0 hands to go up. Anybody been asked to invent something? Have you ever been asked to design a solution for somebody else? Not design a picture for your art teacher. Now, typically an Indian student, when I talk to Indian students, they're delicious. Anyway, I ask them to do something they can't do it. They always say, you show me how to do it, and I'll do it. I say, oh, good for you. When you can be shown how to do something and then you can do it, that makes you as good as a monkey. You show the monkey, he'll do it. Monkey see, monkey do. You want to be a monkey? So if the limit of your thinking ability is, I'm a good student, if ma'am tells me what to do, I can do it. If sir tells me what to do, I can do it. Guess what? You're not going to go that far. In fact, any MBBS people here? All right, so I could talk about them because they're not in the room. No, basically the problem is this. If I, God forbid, should get sick and have a heart disease and require a heart operation, and they take me to Ames, I want that doctor to sew me back up exactly the way her professor showed her to do it in medical school. Please do not go innovating on my aorta. Thank you very much. So there are times when we really want people who can see and do. But in many, many situations, you've got to go beyond that. So what we want is design thinking, not show me what to do and I'll copy it. Monkey see, monkey do. Monkey see, monkey do. We want to be able to invent for ourselves. The old view that India is really supposed to be good at, and we have a great reputation around the world, you give the Indians precise, detailed instructions and they will do it. Good, that's a good skill, it's not a bad skill. But you know what the rap is, what they criticize us for? They say once anything needs to be decided outside of the instructions, the Indians have no ability. They have no judgment. They have no ability to reason. They have no ability to design on their own. This country is known for following and doing other people's busy work. Okay. Known for doing other people's busy work, but what if we invented that we've been able to sell to the rest of the world? Not much. Well, I want us to do better. I want us to learn to think, not just wait for the customer to tell me the specifications. Much more important this. Figure out what the customer needs before they ask for it and design that. Figure out a better way to deliver what they need in the pharmacy. Figure out a better way to deliver what they need. Anybody recognize this guy?
Yes.
Good, okay. Okay. Can you read this or is it too small? All right, say it one more time. Imagination is more important than knowledge. You guys are sharp. That's what I wanted to do. Hey, let's all stand up. 1, 2, 3. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Thank you. Okay, so all of your life, nobody has been telling you this. That's why I say you don't know how to think. Basically, you want to succeed in an Indian school, what do you have to do? Okay, you know how mama bird feeds her babies? She goes out. Beep, 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 beep. She finds the worm. And she swallows the worm. Then she flies back to the nest and the little babies are waiting and they go, ah, 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 baby, baby. And what does the mama bird do? She throws up the worm into the baby's mouth. That's what you've been doing all of your school career. Ma'am or sir has told you X, Y, Z. Yes, you say, yes, sir, I memorized it, and then the exam paper comes and you vomit all of it back onto the exam paper, and that's how you succeed in Indian school. Correct or incorrect? It's like that only or not?
Yes, sir.
Right. Nobody told you, think of a new solution. In fact, if you dare to think of a new solution and raise your hand in class and say, what do you know? Shut up! Everything your teachers have told you is don't think for yourself. But Einstein said something different. Memorizing all that knowledge is not what success is about. Having an imagination. So yes, knowledge is important. Your teachers want you to, I want you to, your parents want you to, your bosses will want you to know that this medicine and not that medicine is the right one for the patient. Know the stuff, but also be able to think beyond the simple vomiting back up the knowledge you know. Also learn to imagine new things. That's part of design thinking. So design thinking is about creative solutions. So there are two key traits or skills you'll need to be an effective design thinker. The first one is empathy. Who can tell me what empathy means? Raise your hand if you know what empathy is. Your 11-year-old nephew comes to you and says, Chacha ji, empathy kya hai? What are you going to tell your nephew? Mausi ji, Didi, empathy kya hai? Well, Miss is going to try this.
नेहा
आप किधर से आते हैं?
न्यू दिल्ली,
न्यू दिल्ली, कौन सा कॉलोनी?
द्वारका,
द्वारका, अच्छा अच्छा। कितना लोग आपका फैमिली में? Four. Okay, mummy ji, papa ji, and big sister a little bit? Chota bhai hai. Okay. So empathy, Didi, empathy kya hai? He's not that chota.
empathy is if I cry, then he cries, and he cries, then I cry. It's a human emotion.
A human emotion that we share. Brilliant answer. Here's your reward. Thank you. Okay. See, we reward right answers too. Anybody else? What is empathy? The word comes from Greek. Empathy. With feel. With feel. In other words, if another person can feel it, you can feel it too. It's like those old movies where they have the voodoo doll. Somebody puts the pin in the voodoo doll and the person goes, ah, ah, ah. Yeah, feel with, empathy. So if you're going to design new things for others, you've got to understand how they feel. Nobody in school certainly has ever encouraged you to be creative. They've only encouraged you to learn their answers, learn their way of doing things. And I'm here to tell you, learn to do it their way, but build on top of that. Build on top of that. Start learning to imagine new and better ways. That's design thinking. How do you get to know how people are feeling? Young people come to me with great business ideas. I say, fail. Not gonna work. Sorry. Because usually they don't know anything about their customers. Say, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to have an app for that, it's going to be on the mobile. I said, don't you understand? People don't buy that way. Oh yeah, but this is better. But they don't think so. See, they know what they think because they're students. They all grew up with mobiles like you did. But they don't understand that Mummy Ji and Papa Ji and Chacha Ji and Mummy Ji and Mama Ji and Mosi Ji didn't do that and are not used to using the mobile for that. And so their great idea for an app isn't going to work. Likewise, what is it that medical people are famous for not understanding? Patience. Okay, they say treat the patient, not the disease. But we don't learn that. I gave a talk at a hospital in Delhi, and I said, no, you need to be sympathetic to your patients. And they sat through that, and we had an interaction. And then I said, okay, a patient comes to you, and she's crying. What will you do? And one guy says, I will tell her, don't cry. I thought we just got through saying, no, let them have their feelings. No, don't cry because it's inconvenient for you to hear her cry. He's not concerned about the patient. He's concerned about his convenience. You get the difference? You got to be concerned about how she feels. If she wants to cry, that's okay. That's her emotions. Don't try to steal them from her. So in the same way, if you want to understand customers, see, students understand students. So if a student says, I got a great solution for students, I say, oh, I'd like to know about that. But if he says, I have a great solution for shoppers, I say, what do you know about shoppers? You never shop for food in your life. You're a spoiled Indian guy. You always have a woman to do it for you. Studying of people. Studying of people. And if you want to know about people who are going to be your patients or your customers, where should you study them? In your interview office? In your clinic? Right, there's a better answer. If you want to know about tigers, where are you going to go? Delhi Zoo? No. Where are you going to go? Jim Corbett National Park. Because the idea is, this is what you want to do. See them in their natural habitat. You want to see how they really live. Watch people in their daily lives. You will learn a lot. Nobody's trained you to think that way. I'm just opening your eyes a little bit that that's a skill you can get. It's a new way of thinking. It's design thinking. It's understanding not what's convenient for me, what's a good solution for me, but what can I give to the user, the patient, the customer that's going to be good for them. And it's based on understanding them, feeling with them, and being creative about imagining new solutions. Systems thinking. Anybody want to tell me what systems thinking is? Your teacher gives you your job. Learn this better, come back and give the exam, right? No issue. That's fine. Do your job. But in a world where everything is interconnected, we need a different kind of thinking. And here it is. No longer can you only think about your job. You've got to think about what happens after you're done with your job. Somebody creates something, but they don't think about how the person's going to use it. They make an object, but they don't make sure it has the right power point, the right plug. Right? This is a big problem that I see a lot, because people have not been trained to think about the whole system. Everybody's concerned with his own job. Last night itself, I was reading a big article, a long article by the famous consulting company. How many have heard of McKinsey & Company? Yes, no? Raise your hand if you've heard of McKinsey. Just a couple of you. If anybody want to go in management consulting, they're the best model. McKinsey & Company. The point was, they had a major company that was losing business to competition because everybody was doing his own job. The finance people had their job and they looked after it. And the sales people, they had all their information about the clients. They said, yeah, I'm working on this company and I'm getting all sorts of, I can't share that with anybody. That's secret. Trade secrets. Niet comrade, Komitet Bezopasno, the secrecy committee, the KGB, not permitted to share. State secret, you not share. Well, that's how they looked at their information. But as a result, different sales teams were going to the same customer, different policies were there. The list of corporate policies was this many pages, and they were all different from all. And finally, the head of this group said, "This is ridiculous. We've got all these different systems. They don't work together. Each one is independent." To getting people from the medical staff, to getting people from X-ray and allied health, to getting people from maintenance, to get people from cafeteria services, all together as one team. Because what one of them is doing is affecting the other ones. Same thing in any company you work for. Same thing in any hospital or pharmacy you work for. What you do affects others. That's the key to systems thinking. Understand that you are not isolated, you are connected. Some of you were not here when I selected these volunteers. You know, I heard a good word. A guy I know was in the American military. You know, if they have, just like in the Indian military, a soldier has to follow orders. So he was told to go and interview for a job helping a general with his family. Generals, I get a special privilege. They get like a soldier to help them, you know, shepherd them around and even help them like babysitting their kids. Can you imagine a Javan? You get to have a Javan come to your house and babysit your kids for you and do that stuff? Okay. But the first question that the general asked my friend when my friend went for the interview was, all right, here's a question. Volunteer or voluntold? These guys were voluntold. You will do this. Write down, okay? So that's not with the pen, not the mouth. You understand the difference? This is your pen, okay? Pen, this is mouth. Hindi mein pen or mun, for those of you that don't speak English, okay? Pen istemal, mouth mad istemal. Mouth band karo. Ready? Pen ke saath. Raise your hand, hold up your paper when you're done. Keep it up, hold up your paper when you're done. Hold it up until everybody's paper is up. Everyone, 100%. Ma'am knows, now ma'am knows they have to answer too. Okay, paper's up. Ma'am said, it's very simple. Here's how I know that sound travels faster than light. Because when I switch on the television set, the sound comes before the picture. Because ma'am told us, or the one who has the wrong answer because he figured it out from evidence. Give me the kid with the right answer. If he gives the wrong answer, he's never getting into IIT. That is critical thinking. Not just accept what people tell you, but think about it. Think if it's evidentially true. Think if the logic makes sense. Think if it really matches up with reality. People have believed the funniest, strangest things all through history. It wasn't until a few hundred years ago that they understood that the heart was a pump. They thought it was like, they thought that it was like your emotions and stuff. But then somebody figured out through an experiment that, yeah, you squeeze the heart, blood comes out and circulates around the body. And they used to think that there were 4 humors, and they used to think all these funny things about disease, like disease comes from the bad air. They didn't understand germs. You want to add a lot of value to yourself, you want to add a lot of value to your profession, to your organization, become a critical thinker. You see, the little boy, the 8th class boy, he was looking at, evidence. He said, I got reliable evidence from my television set that the sound comes before the light. Now, he was not sophisticated to understand why that was actually not a reliable experiment. But at least he was not just accepting what was told, he was testing to see if it matched with experience or not. So as you become a person who can analyze, a person who can evaluate, a person who can reason to see whether something is logical or illogical, to see what is the rule, what is the logical way of looking at it, you will make better decisions, you will have better results. And I think that's what you want. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you want worse results in your life? Anybody here want to be a failure in life? Good. Your parents appreciate that. They want you to be successful. I do too. So this is meant to help you to become more successful. But let's see if you can get it. By the way, I learned it from a high school student. He was given in his high school class, so class 12. So all of you should know how to do this if you pass class 12. All right, so here's a town. And out of this town is a road that widens up into a nice fat highway. Clear? Right? On that side is another town. It is situated 1 kilometer away from the river. This one is 2 kilometers away from the river. Understand? And what's leading out of the town? A road that widens into a... And where does the road go? To the middle of the... Town. Right. Same thing. The road goes to the middle of the town, and then when it gets out of the town, it widens into a highway. So here's the deal. The government realizes there's nothing connecting these 2 towns. Right now there's no connection. Let's build a road to connect the 2 cities, and then all the lorries and the trucks can come and go. Great idea or bad idea? Good idea. Government, Modi Sarkar, Chenin, we're gonna build commerce in this country. Super. But of course, we are Indians, right? Value for? Yeah, we want to save money. So your job is to design the road that's going to cost the least expense. It's a civil engineer. And your challenge is, draw on your answer sheet where the bridge goes. You draw your bridge across the river. The bridge has to be perpendicular. It has to be a short bridge straight. Samajh gaya nahi? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You didn't listen. The bridge has to go straight. Go back to your seat. Okay, where's your bridge? Where's your bridge? Where's your bridge? Okay, we got a bridge! We got a winner! Here's your reward, man. Okay. Right. Let's show me the paper. The bridge is here. Okay? Ma'am, tell us why you put the bridge there.
Because we have to spend list of money on bridge. That's why I make a bridge on that. Money on 1 kilometer.
Okay, so she's saying 1 kilometer is shorter than 2 kilometers. Is it critical thinking? Yes or no? Yes! Yes! Torture. Okay, we got another winner! Ding, 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 ding. Okay, here's your reward, sir. You drew a bridge. Thank you for following the bridge. Now, come, show us where the bridge is in your drawing. He put the bridge there. Kyun? What is it, the reason for drawing the diagonal line?
The shorter distance between 2 points is a straight line.
Thank you, give him a hand. And here's what you win! A deluxe coffee. Give him a hand. How would you spend that hour solving a difficult problem? And Einstein said this. He said, I would spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes solving it. And I said, okay, write down the job you want to have, the last job you want to have in your career, the one before you retire. Not the first job. Not after you get your qualification or your PG and you get your first job. I want to know the last job. Can you do that now? Take your paper and write down the last job you want to hold. What they found out in the US Marine Corps, which is the highly elite unit, they expect every officer to know not just his boss's strategy, not just his commander's strategy, but that person needs to know the strategy of somebody 2 levels up. They need to know the strategy of their commander's commander. Can you guess why? So that they can make good decisions. If they only know what the commander is going to do, like attack the front end of that hill where the enemy is, okay, they can do that. But if they know that the commander's commander is saying, fellow, tell your Javans to go take the front side of that hill because we'll have another airborne force attacking the back side of the hill and we'll have another force bombarding the supply chain to leave them open. Now when you know that more of the picture, you know that you're part of a 3-pronged attack, front, side, and back. That way, if your commander gets killed, which unfortunately occasionally happens, and you're stuck with your troops and your fellows, and one of you has to become, if God forbid your commander will be killed and you have to continue, you now know if your troops are getting shot back, it's not the end, because you just wait. The supplies to those enemies on the hill will be cut off. You can attack a little bit slower. The other, they'll be attacked. They're going to change their intention. They're going to realize your fellow armed forces are going to be attacking them from the back. They're going to be confused. Maybe you can wait a little bit. So it's important to know more than your immediate job. That's systems thinking again. That's how does my job affect the whole system, not just my job, not just monkey see, monkey do. Stonemasons. So one time a fellow was walking and he saw 3 stonemasons. And they were all cutting stones with a hammer and a chisel. And so he said to the first one, he says, Bea, what are you doing? He says, hey, I'm earning a living. I'm cutting stones. All right. Then he goes to the second one. He says, Bea, what are you doing? He says, I'm building a wall. Very nice. And he goes to the third cutter. He says, hey, Bea, what are you doing? I said, me? I'm building a temple. What are you doing? What are you going to do when you join that hospital, when you join that pharmacy, when you join that company? Are you going to be earning a living? Yeah. Are you going to be selling a product? Yeah. Are you going to be dispensing medicines? Yeah. But what's the bigger view? What's the real strategic view of what you're trying to accomplish that you should really focus on? Is it, I'm supporting the marketing department? I'm supporting the finance team? Is it, I'm helping our pharmacy to run well? Yeah. But what will really keep you directed on the real goal is when you start saying, I'm here to help people get well and stay well. I'm here to help people's lives get better with products and services. When you have that temple picture, that big picture of what you're really doing. Not the detailed, what am I doing today, but what's the big picture? What's the higher cause I'm actually working for? When you have that kind of a strategic view, that is when you'll be able to add a lot more value.